Hello, everyone. My name is Natasha. I've been married for 4 years. Was my life ordinary? I'm not sure. But at least it was peaceful. My husband Daniel was always the same, disciplined, organized, a little cold, but reliable. He was like a harbor to me, a place I could hide when storms came. Until the day Daniel's friend Mark walked through our door. It was an ordinary Thursday. The sky was gray, and rain was softly tapping on the windows. That morning, Daniel had called and said, "Natasha, can Mark stay with us tonight? He's in town for work. He's an old friend. I haven't seen him in years." "Of course," I said. It seemed like just another guest visit, but I didn't know how fate can trap people so quietly. When the doorbell rang that evening, I opened it. Standing there was a tall man in a black coat, his face calm but deep. His eyes, they were different. Not cold, but warm, a warmth that pierced straight through me. "You must be Natasha," he said with a smile. "Daniel told me about you." Something stirred inside me, a spark, forbidden, yet thrilling, frightening, but alive. Daniel came from behind, wrapping his arm around Mark's shoulder. "My old friend." "I haven't seen this guy in forever," he laughed. I smiled quietly, but inside, a storm was rising. That night we sat around the dinner table. Daniel opened a bottle of wine. There was laughter, stories, old memories. But I couldn't stop looking at Mark. Every time our eyes met, my breath caught in my throat. When Daniel went to the kitchen for a moment, Mark looked at me softly. "You look happy," he said. "But your eyes, they seem to be hiding something." I froze. How could he see through me so quickly? "I don't know," I whispered. "Maybe I'm just tired." He smiled. "Or maybe you just haven't been truly seen in a long time." My heart raced. Such a simple sentence, yet it carried a spark. Forbidden, but powerful. That night, Mark stayed in the guest room. I lay in bed next to Daniel, but my thoughts were elsewhere. Mark's voice, his gaze, that moment, they echoed in my mind. The next morning, breakfast was normal, but between us, an invisible bond had formed. Neither of us spoke, yet our eyes said everything. Days passed. Mark spent more time at the house. Daniel was busy with work, and I found myself talking with Mark more often. We talked about books, cities, music. It felt as if we had known each other for years. One rainy afternoon, Daniel was at work. Mark was in the living room. I brought him a cup of coffee. There was silence, the kind that feels heavy. "Natasha," he said softly, "I shouldn't say this, but every time I look into your eyes, I feel something." I set the coffee down. My heart was pounding. "Mark, don't," I whispered. But he took one step closer. Just one. And the world fell silent. I didn't say a word. I could only hear my heartbeat. And for a moment, I just existed. Then, suddenly, I came back to myself. "You should go," I said, trembling. "This is wrong." Mark bowed his head. "You're right," he said quietly. And he left. When the door closed, I felt a hollow space inside me. Guilt and longing, intertwined. Nothing looked different after that day, but everything was different. Daniel stayed the same, but I was no longer the woman I had been. A part of me had walked out that door with Mark. Weeks went by. Our home looked the same. Same walls, same sounds, same breakfasts. But inside, I was fading. Mark never came back. He didn't call or write, but his silence echoed in my mind every night, louder than words. Daniel noticed nothing. His world stayed steady. Mine was quietly falling apart. One morning, I looked in the mirror. I didn't recognize myself. The lines on my face, the shadows under my eyes. They belong to someone else. That morning, I made a choice. Either I would bury the past or listen to the silence inside me. But fate often gives us a third option: a reunion. One day, Daniel invited me to dinner. "We're meeting some friends from work," he said. "Mark will be there too." My heart stopped. The fork slipped from my hand. "Mark?" "Yes," Daniel said. "He moved here last week. He's living in the same city now." Something inside me broke. Fate was testing me again. That evening, we arrived at the restaurant. My heart was racing, and there he was, in a gray shirt, eyes finding mine immediately. Time rewound in an instant. In that brief glance, everything returned. The rain, the silence, the unfinished words. Daniel hugged him with a laugh. I only smiled. But when our eyes met again, words became useless. Throughout dinner, we didn't speak. Yet beneath every word spoken around the table, we were there, in every silence, every pause. After dinner, Daniel got a phone call. "Natasha, I'll stay a bit longer with the team. Take the car home." My heart nearly stopped. Mark was waiting outside. It was raining again, the same rain from before, as if fate was watching. As I walked to the car, Mark approached me quietly. "Can I see you for a minute?" he asked, his voice trembling. We stopped under a streetlight, rain dripping from our hair. "There's something I never said that day," he began. "In that house, I truly felt you. Maybe it was wrong, but it was real." My eyes filled with tears. "Mark, these feelings have burned inside me every night. But I can't live them. Because someone loves me. But do you love him?" he asked. I couldn't answer. Silence was my only truth. Mark lowered his head. "Then go, Natasha. Because if you stay, we'll both burn." He took a step back, then another. And he was gone. I stood there, breathless, under the rain. That's when I understood. Some loves aren't meant to be lived, only felt. And sometimes, the greatest act of love is knowing when to walk away. When I got home, Daniel still wasn't there. I closed the door and turned off the lights. I sat by the window. Tears fell silently down my face, but inside, I was screaming. I never saw Mark again. But sometimes, when the wind blows, I can still smell that day. When it rains, I see his eyes again. And every time I whisper to myself, sometimes love isn't something you live, it's something you have to forget. And that's it, my friends. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time.